You are officially in the incinerator. Welcome to Incense and Common Sense. I mean, forgive me. Welcome to Midnight Madness. Sorry about everybody. I would love you guys and girls to become active citizens. Y'all already know how to do that. Shout out to everybody because this is a worldwide movement. Um, we're gonna do like always. What's going on, Twin Jen? I made me a cup of hot tea tonight. Cause we're gonna have a conversation. Uh, we're gonna have a conversation that need to be had. Yeah. Oh, by the way, shout out to you and Jack of All Trades. Cause I saw Jack of All Trades. I want to say, man, 2000. I think I subbed to his channel like around 2016. I was still doing maintenance work, and he was one of the first gun tubers I remember. Him and a couple other ones. But as far as from our community, him and Eric Petaway. And yeah, man, 50 BMGs and all that. Yeah. Okay, yeah, man. Shout out to him. Shout out to him. He been holding it down for a long time, man. He been holding it down for a long time. Tell you what, if I can give any advice to anybody that ever gets into any kind of live streaming or any kind of platforms, all the genres are out there. Nobody pretty much can't discover a new genre. But I'm gonna tell you this: it's enough room for everybody. Do what makes you comfortable and get you an organic audience. When I first got into this 4 years ago, I had somebody telling me, you need to go viral, you need to go viral. I told them no. And the reason I didn't need to go viral is, let's just say I go viral for shooting a fully automatic Thompson. Well, that's what everybody gonna always see on my channel. I don't have it like that where I can constantly do that stuff. So I decided I was gonna get my niche. I talk a lot. I'm a nerd. I have a different lived experience when it comes to the Second Amendment. I decided I was gonna build this platform on, I was gonna show people where the Second Amendment, race, and politics cross each other, and you can't avoid them. Not to say that that's what, yeah, definitely got to get some ammo sponsors. I was this close to getting ammo and gun sponsors. Before the general store closed, man, here in town, they just said they got tired of the insurance going up, man. All the little bureaucracy around firearms, man, he said it just wasn't worth it. And besides, he was ready to retire. But, you know what? I built me an organic platform. YouTube's and shadow banned me quite a few times. This is my second channel. You guys and girls know I had lost my first channel. That was for showing a dead bull. But find what works for you and stick to it. It's going to take a while. Everybody you see now that's up there started somewhere. Everybody. I remember when Yoki Stirrup didn't have 20 people. I remember when the regular gun guy first came out. There's a lot of people that's here. I remember when they started, and there's a lot of people that came and they went. I know we had during the pandemic, I want to say from about 2019 to about 2022, 2023, a lot of people started a YouTube channel just to do a gun collection video. But this is not their thing. Their thing is not the Second Amendment. But they started a channel so they can show their collection. And I think, in my honest opinion, a lot of them kind of got out of it because they was making a statement of stepping a game up to look like somebody else's collection. And a lot of us just put it out there to them that this is not a competition. We love firearms. We not competing with each other. We putting out there what we have because we was building a whole ecosystem. there's some people like me. I never thought about customizing a gun. But after watching these channels for so many years, eventually I'm gonna get around to getting maybe 2 or 3 of them Cerakoted and stuff like that. It's kind of like building a car, man. So it just depends, man. Find what your niche is and you just stick to it. You put that work in, eventually it's gonna pay off. Now we in the golden era for gun tubers because a lot of the manufacturers are starting to reach out straight to the gun tubers now, man. They starting to go around YouTube. If you notice in your YouTube studio, there's a question they ask you now before you post a video. Is there any paid promotions included with this? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, YouTube want to know. You getting paid outside around us. How can we fix that? Well, we can get a piece of that. You know what I'm saying? So the manufacturers are getting smart, man. So yeah. Well, it look like it's just gonna be me and you in here, Twin Gen. So we're gonna roll with it. So when I first started to Alert Zone TV, I said I was High Alert TV. I said I was gonna bridge the gap between race, politics, and the Second Amendment because they all intertwined, whether you like it or not. I also said that I wasn't gonna build. I didn't want to seem like I'm looking for argument or headbutting with nobody. But we had to have this discussion so we can understand how we got to all these assault weapon bans. With the internet, we're in the information age. Back before the internet became a thing, if you didn't actually read newspaper articles, all you believed is the headlines on the newspaper or what you seen on the TV. But it never told the whole story. You had to read the whole body of work. So in modern times, we all know the Mulford Act happened in '66. Ronald Reagan, the Republican Christ, I call him, passed in modern times the very first gun legislation, the Mulford Act, because of the Black Panthers and the NRA at the time joined in with this. And the rest of the citizens of the state of California, for the most part, they was in agreement with that. When you fast forward to 94, the next real gun legislation didn't come until 94. Oh yeah, man. Eyes and ears give me that, man. Eyes and ears give me the incinerator, man. Cause I used to put it in a regular incense holder, and Eyes and Ears sent me this as a gift. And so you go to 94, the assault weapons ban. For those of you who don't know, in 94, it was the Democrats, Bill Clinton and Joe Biden with Biden's law, come up with the assault weapons ban. That's when they banned the sale of assault weapons. Now, they didn't ban the manufacturing of them. I mean, they banned the manufacture of them, not the sale and not the possession. So under that law, there was a lot of guns that fell victim to a lot of companies. Cobra, Jimenez, Intratec. A lot of these companies made garbage guns, but they fell victim to that because everything they made was basically, for those of you who don't know the story of Cobra, they was trying to get the military contract as that being a sidearm. The Mac 11 was supposed to be a sidearm for the military. First, it was in 45 ACP, but it wasn't Cobra. It was another company. I forget the name of it. I had to look it up. The first Mac was the Mac 10. It came out in 45 ACP. They said that was too heavy to carry around. So Cobra went and made the Mac 10, the Mac 11, in 9mm. And that was supposed to be the sidearm for the military, but it didn't pass the quality test. So then it hit the streets, and for those of you who remember, the pre-ban guns was all basically you change a couple springs and they was fully automatic. They was a switch before a switch. So they got the assault weapons ban passed in the 94 crime bill. Well, Bush Jr., one of the few things I actually did approve of his presidency, he let it expire. And then when the 94 crime bill, when the assault weapons ban expired, then came the rise of the AR-15. Now, I watched this on MSNBC probably 12, 13, 14 years ago. They did a story on CNBC, the business channel, on the rise of the AR-15. And that was because the lift of the assault weapons ban. So that's how so many companies started getting into making AR-15s and getting into making assault weapons, because if you go back to before the ban, it was limited competition. You know what I'm saying? So you fast forward to modern times. So after that assault weapons ban expired, then the states started pulling states' rights. Now, I have decided to sit down and do the work for y'all and bring you the receipts. Now, you are welcome always to go back and research yourself. If I'm wrong, be respectful, but you can correct me. So as I sit here live streaming right now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and possibly 11 states right now that have assault weapons bans. The possible is Virginia. And the only reason I say possible is because the governor hasn't signed it yet. Once the governor signs this law, then we can add them in. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 states that have magazine bans as the recording of this live stream. Now, what does this mean? This is where we're going to rub some people the wrong way. We're going to have to brush up on some feelings, but we got to have this conversation. As you see, I'm rocking my 13% shirt tonight. Thanks Stormfront, because Stormfront is how I heard about this. If I didn't go on Stormfront, I wouldn't have knew about this. Was the new way of calling us the N-words, the 13%, 13%ers. So thanks Stormfront. I do go on Stormfront and some of these other switches to learn what the words is so I can know what's going on. But I decided, 13%ers, the usual suspects, Twin Jenny, we'll talk offline. I'll get your number. We'll talk offline later. I can give you just all you got to do is go and read comments, and you'll find, man, look at here. So I decided, well, since we have an unhealthy conversation about the Second Amendment in here, you know, this is the nutritious channel here. This is the cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. This is the fruitful channel. We give you nutrition on here. You might not always be looking for it, but it's good for the body and you're going to need it. I went through the trouble of finding out what is the racial makeup of all these states. California, the black population, as I'm sitting here talking right now, is 7%. Now, you know, California is the most populated state in the country. The state of Delaware is 23%. All these states have bans already on the books that's being enacted. The state of Delaware is 23%. The state of Hawaii is 3%. The state of Illinois is 15%. I'm going to get to Illinois in a minute. The state of Massachusetts is 9%. State of New Jersey is 15%. New York, the most populated city and the biggest city in the country, is New York. Now, this is New York City and upstate New York. It's 24%. Washington State, 4%. Washington, D.C., that's a little anomaly, but it's 45% there. Connecticut, we 10% of the population. And finally, Virginia. We are 18% of the current population. That's the states that have assault weapons bans. Now, when we go over to the mag bans, besides those states having assault weapon bans, they all got mag bans. Now, we go to the state of Colorado. They have a mag ban, 10 rounds or less. 5%. The state of Oregon. If you know your American history, you know Oregon wasn't a sundown, was a sundown state. We talk about sundown towns in the South. The whole state of Oregon was a damn sundown state for black folk. We 2% of the population. Rhode Island, we 8% of the population. Vermont, we 2% of the population. In Connecticut, we 10% of the population in Connecticut. Let's get to Cook County. Because what about Chicago? Y'all follow me. What about Chicago?
Back door.
Cook County is where Chicago is. The makeup of Cook County is 41% white, 27% black, 28% Hispanic. What's going on, Mr. 5'7"? 8% Asian, 6% mixed, 22% foreign. Now, you guys and girls might want to know, well, why did you go through all this searching and this and that? I'm trying to connect the dots about the Second Amendment here and how hate has destroyed the Second Amendment. What's going on? Oh, y'all have a good night. Oh, what we got there?
Water.
Oh, man, I thought y'all brought me something to eat. Sorry about that, everybody. Now, why did I go through all these numbers? For the people that pushed the assault weapons bans in all these different states, black folk, we just have to be honest, has been used as the weapon to push these bans. Here's the problem. In all the states that already have bans on the books, whether they be mag bans or full-out assault weapon bans, there's only 2 states that we're even more than 20% of the population. And Washington, D.C., well, that's a little bit different, but we're 45%. So I ask, if we're the catalyst for these assault weapon bans, in these states, there ain't enough of us there. For all the per capita people who love to do all this per capita bullshit, there ain't enough of us there. That's a lot of hate. You guys have allowed, let's talk about something. And how hate has destroyed the Second Amendment, because we need to have this conversation. And if you're not catching this live, you're catching this on the replay, you need to share it. This was a simple Google search. You guys and girls are welcome to go back, and I'm going to point some things out about this. The most vile people, the internet has made millionaires out of a specific genre of people. And it don't matter what platform they're on. This little anti-black rant, this little hustle of, if you run black folks in the ground, you can become a millionaire. Charlie Kirk became a millionaire. He's dead. Nick Fuentes. Follow me, because I'm going to get to something with this. Steven Chowderhead. As Steven Crowder, but I like to call him Steven Chowderhead because he ain't funny. Shalom. We can go on, Matt Walsh. Megyn Kelly. We can go down the line. We can go down the sewage of all these vile people. These people have become millionaires pushing this what about Chicago, what about black on black crime thing. And the bad part about it is all these states that have these assault weapons bans, there ain't enough of us there, number one. Number two, out of the population that's there, the majority of us don't commit crimes. For those of you who don't know, nationwide, of the black people, the 13%ers, more than 85% of us have never been arrested and don't have a criminal record. We got a high recidivism rate in our community. It's the same dudes and chicks committing the majority of the crimes. It's not the majority of us. You know that little saying y'all got online about it's not all of them, but it's always them? Yeah, them kind of little sayings. See, all that was fun and games and laughing and hee-heeing and ha-haing. Now they're showing up to get your assault weapons now. Now they telling you what you can and can't have. And you can't blame us because we not the majority in these places. Look, man, I grew up in a 80+% black city. I live in a town that's less than 1% black. I've been living here 16 years. And I've been taking notes, and I haven't said nothing to a lot of people. I've had some nasty things said to me. I've been taking notes. Everything you see going on in the hood, they got going on up here, even worse. You just don't see it on the news. But you would never see me make this channel about going around talking about these different ethnic groups up here and racial groups and the heinous crimes they commit. And then I would just make a platform and just run them in the ground. Because I can tell you, I can do it. I can tell you right now about touching children, how bad that epidemic is here. I can tell you, you think the crack epidemic is bad. My goodness, you don't even want to get me started on what the farmers got to do to protect their stuff up here. But that's counterproductive. I'm not here to push division. I'm here to tell everybody who believes in the Second Amendment how we got to all these fucking assault weapon bans. That's how we got here. I told you, you got people 2,000-3,000 miles away from Chicago talking about what about Chicago? You live in Idaho. Yeah, you live in Idaho. What the hell are you worried about a south sider from Chicago? He ain't gonna come right over there to do you nothing. I want everybody to understand something. But in particular, non-black America. Yes, we have our problems. And this is not a deflection. But I want to point something out to you guys and girls. Y'all have gotten so used to pointing the finger at us about cleaning our house, and your house is filthy. Tim Tebow just made a statement that his community is angry with him because of the statement he made that who's touching the children. I didn't make that. When we go out and we commit crimes, it's always us. On the news, in the comment section saying, we got to do better than this. We our own worst enemy. We got to do better than this. We as a community have been saying, not all of us going to be saved. We got to trim the fat. We're going to have a mass separation. We have publicly been saying that. Here, about a year and a half ago, there was a school shooting here in Iowa. Kid went to Perry. Perry about an hour or so away from where I live. He went to the school and aired the joint out. Okay. Yeah, I've been on 8 Mile Road. We had a school shooting up here. You know what I didn't see? I didn't see one parent from that school, one journalist, nobody in the state of Iowa saying we got to do better than this. There was no march. Nobody came out and talked about we got to talk about this culture of violence. No, it was mental health. And, well, we got to think about more firearm safety. We don't do that. When one of us go and do something out here, we be the first ones to condemn them and take to the streets talking about peace marches, stop the violence rallies. Damn, give us an A for effort, man. Hate has penetrated so many people in this country to the point that it's normal and they don't even think about it until it's too late. Virginia, we 18% of the population. You guys are about to get hit over the head with something they saying makes California look normal. That's the way Virginians are calling this. But this didn't have to be. Now, I want you guys and girls to understand something. Okay. Give me a minute and then I'll interact with y'all. All these states I mentioned have a small percentage-wise black population. You know something else? All these states I mentioned that got these assault weapons bans in common have something else in common, with the exception of Virginia. None of these are southern states. The majority of the black people in this country live in the southern states. They live south of I-40. Now, if we was the problem, why the fuck don't we have a bunch of assault weapons bans down there then? In Texas, in Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina. How come we don't have them over there? The majority of the black population in this country, there was just a map that came out and it blew my mind, but I understood it. The basically southeast corner of this country was dark purple, showing where the majority of the black folk live there. So how come we don't have them there? Nah, it's not just large liberal cities. Because the southern states, even in the small towns, got big black populations. It's totally different. I live here in Iowa. I'm from Louisiana. So I've driven a truck and I've been on roads that didn't even used to be on the map. I'm telling you. The South is like coming to the Midwest is the reverse of the South. In the South, you get outside of the big, talking about most gun bans. Oh, okay. Well, these assault weapons bans is statewide now. And I'm telling you guys and girls how we got here. All of these rabid, mouth-wrapping bigots that's online, the majority of these people come from these northern states. Let me tell you something. And Twin Jim from Mississippi, he can vouch for this if he's still in here. That little thing that y'all see on the TV with these white folks in the South just running around screaming nigger this and nigger that, it's not really and truly like that. Do we have racial segregation and separation? Yes, we do. But we okay with that. They have theirs, we have ours. All this you see online, these are people who live up north, running around screaming at. Remember, Charlie Kirk is from Illinois. He was born and raised in Illinois. Nick Fuentes, born and raised in Illinois. Candace Owens, born and raised in New York. I can go on and on and on. These are people that's, now, I know Brother Malcolm say as long as you from south of Canada, you south, but I'm saying, in America, these are not people from southern states running around screaming at garbage. These people that's on the internet screaming all this foolishness, those are caricatures. At the end of the day, we know what's our side of town and we know what's their side of town. And everybody fucking act accordingly. Period, point blank. That is just a fact. That's coming from somebody that's born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana in the South. That's been living up in the Midwest. So I just decided that I was going to do these numbers because the per capita morons out there have convinced them. The per capita people have talked this assault weapons ban garbage into existence. All they had to do was shut their fucking mouth and mind their fucking business. Yep. The Michigan militia that went to the Capitol building. I talked about that, about how since we having this conversation, we're going to have an honest one. All y'all people who join these little militias that love to brag about your friends in law enforcement, and you got family in law enforcement and all that. When y'all stormed that Capitol in Michigan, that was y'all friends and y'all family y'all was screaming and shouting at. And like I told you, instead of them fighting back and screaming with you face to face, they let you guys blow off a bunch of steam. When y'all took y'all stupid asses home, they went sat right down with the Democrats when the Democrats got a hold of power and said, yeah, let's get these assault weapons bans passed. Let's get these magazine weapons bans passed and all that. See, I told you, law enforcement, you can just Google this if you don't believe me. It's more involved in these assault weapons bans and these magazine bans than you think they are. And it's not because of the 13 percenters. It's because of all of you guys, y'all dressed like Call of Duty warriors. Y'all walking around, y'all constantly keep throwing them under the bus. You go out, you do all kind of silly shit, and then you say, I got friends in law enforcement. I got family in law enforcement. They're afraid of y'all for one reason. Now, this is one fact I'll state. The difference between white gun owners and everybody else is, if they showed up to take everybody else's guns, if we have something illegal, we ain't giving that up. That shit we bought legal, we gonna give to them. You show up to that white boy, dude, talking about you gonna take guns, and you gonna take a whole lot of bullets, like they say, one by one. They willing to bang it out with y'all. And your friends and family in law enforcement know that. So instead of them doing it that way by force, they gonna do it by law. Now you guys done talked yourselves out of y'all rights and y'all stumping around and y'all pouting. What's going on, Mo? What's going on, man? Appreciate you for jumping in. Now y'all stumping around and y'all pouting and y'all pole-mouthing, but that's y'all fault, not ours. There's something you learn when you grow up in the hood. Hell, forget growing up in the hood. There's something you learn when you grow up. When you close this and open these. Sometimes you just got to shut the fuck up and let shit live. Sometimes you just got to shut the fuck up, man. You can't always be out there flexing. At the end of the day, look, as Americans, we got a privilege most people can't say that they can enjoy. I don't want to hear about our human rights. I'm just talking about we have the right to go and buy an AK-47, put a drum on it, and have it get stopped by the police, give them our proper identification, don't even fight with them, let them run our shit and go right on about our business. Most countries ain't like that, man. Most countries are, look, I know this is something, this is a worldwide movement. You guys see me go down there to Mexico? The Mexican people don't have that privilege down there like that to just walk around willy-nilly with guns, man. They get catch them with their guns, they take them to damn jail. They don't have that privilege. And look at what they gotta face. We have a privilege a lot of people don't have. But sometimes people just don't know when to shut the fuck up, man. We talk about these tyrannical governments, and you can't always be extreme about everything all the time. Sometimes you gotta just live and let live. You guys and girls have spewed hate so much that they've used your hate against you. All these places don't have, since y'all like to talk a percentage, large black populations, but you got assault weapons. Assault weapons bans, because you just can't fucking shut the fuck up. If you live in Massachusetts, listen to what I'm telling you. These dudes from South and West Chicago, since y'all love bringing them up, are not gonna get in a car, stolen or not, get on I-80, pay tolls, and drive out to Massachusetts so they can do you something. They're not gonna do that. They're not gonna waste that much of time and gas to do you something. You living in Idaho, you living in Utah, in Salt Lake City, talking about some gangbangers. You got other problems to worry about out there. You got to worry about the Mormon church and your daughters. Oh, did I just say that? Oh, did I just say that? Yeah, I did. The South Side of Chicago gangbangers shouldn't even be on your mind. You got enough problems out there. One thing about me, I done been to 46 out of 48 continental U.S. states. And I don't mean through them, I mean in them. When I was younger, I was more eager to jump out and go sightsee than I am now. Now I stick to the, I'm too old to be going in all the rough areas now. I can't hold up with too many of these youngsters. You know, these youngsters like to crowd you. But back in my younger days, I got out and went to play. Hell, I went in places when I was walking, people was turning around looking at me like their eyes was getting this damn big. Like they saw a unicorn. What's going on, Dr. T? Go to Maine. I done been up there to Maine to the Kmarts and stuff, delivering flowers and everybody in the store doing like that. And I just got this sheet and grin on my face because I know good and well this is a rare sighting. You know, this is like seeing Halley's Comet, me walking through here. But I'm okay with that. I can speak on different parts of the country because I've been there and I done seen it. From some of the richest areas, from driving to all my New Yorkers, 278, Brooklyn Queens Expressway, out there to the 495, to go out east, from seeing Impala or Durango pass me up to a Bentley come by, a Ferrari come by, Rolls Royce come by, heading out to the Hamptons. I done drove out there to the Hamptons. From going to Biscayne and South Beach to Lil Haiti and other places I ain't have no business being. So I know what I'm talking about. Virginia, I watched y'all little rally the other day. Little video, y'all little rally. Y'all still ain't figured it out. Y'all out here. Hell yeah, I'm pro 2A. 100%. 100%. That's the thing. I don't believe in the asterisk in the 2A. That's been the problem. And the Virginia lawmaker, what's going on? What's going on, Jonathan? All right, we got everybody coming in. I appreciate y'all coming in. There was a Virginia lawmaker, I forget his name. You guys and girls seen that I did the whole live stream about that. That got up there and he talked about, he went back all the way to the 1800s about the asterisks on the Second Amendment. Because now it's not too funny. Because it knocked on his door. Like I said, when it comes to these Second Amendment sanctuary counties, if you believe in something like that, something wrong with you. Because the Second Amendment is supposed to be the law of the land. Don't give me no sanctuary county. Damn it, the Second Amendment is the Second Amendment. I don't want nobody rights encroached on because I understand something. If I let you get away with it with them, you're going to try it with me. It's kind of like we was raised to say, if I let one person punch me in the face and I don't hit them back, everybody going to try it because I didn't stop that one. Even if I don't win. If somebody punches me in the face and I take off running, everybody gonna think I'm free game. If I stand there and let somebody get mistreated because it's not me, it's only a matter of time before they come back there and get me. Remember the school shooters. Let's talk about it. When Klebo and Harris wrote their scribblings, they said the people, some of the people they killed them because they were standing there laughing while other people was teasing them. They didn't tease them, but they were standing there laughing. And they felt like, oh yeah, I remember. So-and-so made a joke and you laugh. Yeah, I'm going to kill you too. Why would I say living here where I live right now, Marshall County? Well, you can go ahead and go after Polk, Story, and Jasper County. Take their guns. I don't. You can restrict them as long as you leave Marshall County alone. Why would I say that? Because they're gonna start with them. But then they're gonna turn around and come back and tell me when I say, man, you better get out of here. They're gonna say, but you didn't have no problem with me doing it to them. What makes you better? I don't believe in all this sanctuary stuff when it comes to the Second Amendment. I believe hands off. Now, if you're new to my channel, binge watch this channel. Go back to the beginning of this channel. And if you came from the old channel, you know I've been screaming about national reciprocity since 2021, 2000, something like that, 2021, 21, 22. I've been screaming about national reciprocity. Now we got a representative from Utah that has finally introduced the bill to make national reciprocity a thing. Now, what does that tell you? Yeah, hold on one second. Hold on one second. Sorry about that, everybody. Years ago, we had a gun rally here in Iowa. And I went, Des Moines. I pulled up. Let me see. I had Big Ugly with me. And I had my AR with me. You know them jokers passed all them people up and came to me and started talking to me and wanted to check and see if I had a permit to have a gun and all that at a Second Amendment rally. I ain't say nothing. I ain't argue with him. I ain't fight with him. I showed him my little, showed him my concealed carry permit. Because up here in Iowa at the time, you couldn't just buy a gun. You had to either have a permit to purchase or a concealed carry permit, which if you're going to get the permit to purchase, you might as well get the concealed carry permit and get everything. But I was at a 2A rally. And yeah, man, damn local police come up to me. How you doing, sir? I'm fine, and you? Oh, you got a permit for that? A permit for what? I'm at a rally. Oh, we just want to make sure that everybody's in compliance. I didn't even say, well, you didn't check nobody else. I didn't say nothing. I went ahead on and gave my ID and all that shit, and they did their little police thing, and they came on back. All right, be safe out here. I just went on about my business. Part of it was because I don't think there was maybe 2 or 3 more of us out there. But nevertheless, that wasn't the place to be arguing in. So I have connected the dots through a simple Google search. All these places that got these damn assault weapons bans basically don't have large black populations. But that's what the bans have been based on, because the people in these states have been screaming, what about Chicago, for so long. It's just crazy, man. And I know a lot of people feel like, well, those places have blue cities. Let me tell you something. Out in the sticks is where the majority of your massacres happen. Whether people know that or not. Murder-suicide. Domestic issues. That's usually suburban and rural America where this stuff go on. I can't tell you how many incidents I've heard of people being chopped up and shot up here and all that. The difference with it here than New Orleans is people do it behind closed doors up here. Outside of the town I live in, there's still a lot of nothing but farmland. So wherever they shooting, you don't hear. That's the only difference. It ain't that it don't happen. It happens. It happens more than we think it does. But because I don't hear it, and I don't usually see it, if I don't read the paper or if I don't hear from somebody around here, Hell, there's people that's been here for years already that's already starting to complain about all the stuff that's starting to happen here. But this town basically is white, Hispanic, Asian. We not here. Can't blame us. We're not the ones doing this. Not like that. There ain't enough of us here. Crime is everywhere. The mainstream media, for those of you who don't know life before the internet, the mainstream media has allowed or helped all of us as Americans put a face on crime. That's why I don't stop. Serial killers. When I say the word serial killer, everybody is looking for this big old deformed. You got in your mind, you see a monster. You see Freddy Krueger. But in real life, you got Jeffrey Dahmer. You got Ted Bundy. You got Derek Todd Lee, Carl Eugene Watts. What's their name? The Hillside Stranglers. Ing and that other Lake. I can go on and on. We got this image of what a criminal look like. We got this image of a dude with dreadlocks, a bunch of tattoos, his sagging pants, and an ARP as a criminal. That's the image we got. Meanwhile, we got Bernie Madoff then destroyed a lot of people's lives. We have gotten image and definition confused. The image of a criminal is not always the definition of a criminal. And that right there has been to a lot of people's detriment. Bryan Kohberger. I kept my eye on that. For those of you who remember, you want to talk about a monster? A motherfucker that can fly from Pennsylvania to Idaho. Kill a bunch of people in the house. And the only reason he left witnesses because he didn't know they was in there. He can negotiate a plea deal to where they take the death penalty off the table. But he doesn't have to get up there and admit and tell why he did what he did. I watched his sentencing. That motherfucker didn't bat an eye, you hear me? He didn't bat. He had this look on his face like, man, look, I don't want to hear all this shit. Go on, take me back to solitary confinement where I'm going to spend the rest of my life and let me get on with my time. He didn't bat a fucking eye. When you look at Bryan Kohberger, he doesn't fit the image of a criminal. That's something the mainstream media has put in everybody's head for so long. What a criminal looks like instead of what a criminal acts like. So we expect a criminal to have a certain look. And if they don't have a certain look, they're not a criminal. Or it's hard to believe. Give you guys and girls something else y'all might not think about. When people get arrested and charged with a heinous crime, if you always notice, unless they got a bunch of tattoos in their face and all over their hands, are they really deformed? The person you see get arrested looks totally different than the person they bring in there during court. They dress totally different. Some of these people, you have to take a double look and say, damn, that's the same person? That's for a reason. We've been given an image, all of us, of what a criminal looks like instead of what a criminal is. So if they bring you in there, you could have killed 30 people. If they take that look off of you, do you know how many people have beat murder charges because they didn't look like a criminal when they sat in court? Nah, I can't believe he did that. I can't believe she did that. Nah, she don't look like that type. Nah, and they find him not guilty. because they don't fit an image. And that's something we got to get through our head. The Second Amendment is supposed to be colorblind, but it's not. I want all of you people out here, all of you non-black people, and I'm talking about white, I'm talking about the Asians, that little shit that y'all do, the Hispanics, the little shit that y'all do, and all the rest of y'all. Stop that fucking hate, man. Y'all done push that hate so much that a lot of y'all damn Second Amendment rights getting trampled on, and y'all don't like it. You have let these people put "what about Chicago" in your head to the point now that you are losing. And like I said, these are all states that's not in the South. None of these states, California, Delaware, well, Hawaii is different, and California. Well, because California is so damn big. Shit, California got 80 and 40 run through there, and 10. But California, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, Washington State, D.C., Connecticut, Virginia. With the exception of California, none of them states is under Interstate 40. We have been the catalyst for your assault weapons ban. But for what? You've allowed the news to poison you to the point where, yes, we have our issues. None of us never argue that we don't have our issue. But you guys and girls have been pushed to the point that y'all have joined in y'all own damn demise. And now it's not so funny. I looked at these rallies in Virginia. There's still something missing, but I don't say nothing in the comment section. I just read the comments, but I don't say nothing. This red, blue thing, this blue cities. Look. Blue cities is another euphemism for the 13 percenters. Urban, blue cities. It's another, basically, designation for us. I'm going to tell you guys and girls this before I get out of here. We all have stereotyped somebody before. We all have had a prejudice or a schism about somebody and had to get to know them. GunTube has been around, I can say strong, for about a good 10, 11 years. Around 2019, 2020, it really kicked into high gear. It's still in its infancy. GunTube has been one of the only platforms that we as black folk can get out here and show the rest of the world that the majority of us that have firearms are legally armed, and the majority of us don't commit crimes like that. It's been because of GunTube. Because the mainstream media has never portrayed us in a good light. Ask yourself something. If we the problem, well, how come they got prisons in all these different states? If we the problem. A state like Oregon shouldn't have a prison. We only 2% of the population there. I want you to think about something. The city of Portland, Oregon, all the Walmarts have permanently closed in that city. Now, what does that tell you? There ain't enough of us there to blame us. We're not the ones on the videos out there. That's the one thing about the internet. It's starting to pull back the veil on the whole country now. Everybody's degeneracy is being put on display. It's not just like on the mainstream media, where they only decided to walk us out there and everybody was in agreement with that. There's a Hispanic dude on Instagram as well. I see him, man. He's talking about his community. He's talking about the criminal element in his community. And I go read the comment section, and the people from his community don't like it. They call him rats. A lot of them then threaten this guy's life and everything. They don't like him talking about that. But they're okay with us talking about us. They're okay with talking about us. You can't throw stones from a glass house. See, we don't throw stones because we know our house is glass. That's why our glass is still up. Our glass is still up. Meanwhile, other people throwing stones from glass houses, and they done destroyed their houses. They done broke so many of the windows out now that their family members and their house have came out and said to hell with it. So they don't destroy the house. Let me come out here and tell everybody what they doing. I forget this guy's name, man, but like I said, he's from LA. And what he talks about is public information. They are threatening his life, telling him he better not come outside and where he can't go and all that, because they say he shouldn't be talking about that. But you encourage them to talk about us. America is a segregated country, whether you like it or not. I know they're trying. I had this illusion that California was more integrated than what it is, but it's not. California is a very hate-filled place. I don't care what nobody say. And it took me a lot of years to really see it. Yeah, there's a lot of hate over there. That's a real hate-filled place over there. And just notice, all these places that got this just over the top racial foolishness is where they've been able to get all these damn assault weapons bans past that. Like I said, if this was Texas, Florida, Louisiana, or Mississippi or something like, you would have an argument. Those places are heavily populated by the 13 percenters. These other places, and with these other states, once you get outside the city, you can forget it. When you see one of us, what the hell? Hey, man. In Connecticut, Hartford, and Bridgeport. You get outside of Bridgeport and Hartford, forget it. Forget it. A lot of them that look like this speak Spanish. There's a lot of them damn Puerto Ricans over there. Oh, yeah. Rhode Island. Providence. They might as well call that little Puerto Rico. Vermont. Don't even get me started on Vermont. Don't even get me started on Vermont, because they on this list of how far and few in between of us is in Vermont. Hawaii, we're 3% of the total population. Yet you got all these bans because of a boogeyman that don't exist in the majority of these places. Like I said, if this was southern states, we all over the states in the South. I don't think you can go from Texas, from East Texas, from I-35 on back east in Texas. I don't think you can go nowhere and not see one of us. West Texas is different. The further west you get, the browner you get. Oklahoma the same way. Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, we all over. We all over to them southern states. We everywhere. And yet you can't get this in a southern state. But all these northern and western states tell you we the problem. Now wait a minute here. You guys have talked yourselves into disarming yourselves because you guys and girls have dressed up like Call of Duty warriors and you keep running around jumping in people's faces talking about all your friends in law enforcement. Now I told you, your friends and your family, they may not say nothing to your face. They going right on behind your back. And now you got the damn politicians starting to out the damn law enforcement now. I've already proved that with Connecticut, with the Glock ban. The politicians are starting to out law enforcement as, yeah, they are part of these damn gun bans with us. Yeah, because they tired of getting thrown under the bus. So for all y'all who like to talk about the liberals and the blue cities and and the blue this and the blue that, what do you think about that? Now they coming out and saying, yeah, we got help. It's from law enforcement. The guys you girls you brag about. The other blue is helping us. You know, back to blue, that blue is helping us. Even though that blue knows all the shootings is basically people that's committing crimes, is criminals, but it don't matter. The blue sitting down with us behind closed doors in Michigan, I forgot who said that. That was a perfect example. When them bastards stormed that damn Capitol in Lansing and nobody did them nothing, and they was allowed to just tie up, this is the state capitol, and they was allowed to tie up traffic everywhere because they had the audacity to go up in a government building with AR-15s screaming, saying, let us go and keep them niggas locked up in Wayne County. And they thought they was going to get away with that. Your little buddies, your brothers and your cousins and your dads that y'all was screaming at in them hallways, they fought back just a different way. When they had that plot to kidnap the damn governor up there, you forgot about that. And Darleaf, the sheriff, said that if that's what the citizens wanted to do, oh well. You know what your friends in law enforcement was saying? These motherfuckers done lost their mind. They are talking about kidnapping a sitting governor and had the whole plan mapped out. They was going to put her on their little trial and execute her. Your little buddies in law enforcement say, okay, we know how we going to solve this problem. Yeah, man, you're right. They had guns. These bastards had explosives. They was supposed to go rig a damn bridge. They had a government agent that helped them crack this. That was like an insider. I mean, they had already had the bridge plan where they was going to rig it with explosives so that when law enforcement start chasing them, they blow the bridge up. I mean, these bastards had this shit planned out. And had it not been for that law enforcement guy infiltrating this shit, that would have happened. These people sitting here watching this saying, oh, okay. So here we giving y'all free reign to do whatever y'all want to do because we in law enforcement. And y'all going to go after the governor? All right. Bet. Slowly but surely. State by state, they going around. Every time they can get the blue majority, they're going to go after guns. Because when the states have the red majority, they don't put it on the ballot so that you can get it into the Constitution like in Iowa, where nobody can't mess with it. Because I see we about to have a Democratic governor up here. Because the guy that's running, the only thing I know about him, he keeps saying that he agrees with Donald Trump and the border policies, but he ain't said what he gonna do for Iowa. But our rights have been enshrined already into the Second Amendment so that they don't be tampered with. Across the country, you guys and girls gonna have to start getting this stuff on the ballot and getting it away from the politicians and getting it into law where it cannot be messed with. Because if you don't do this, these guys and these girls, they're gonna get around you. And hey, Virginia, if she signs this, the thing they lucky is they didn't put a ban on the possession. They did the grandfather. If you already got this stuff by July 1st, you can keep it. But everybody not gonna be so lucky. Illinois wanted them to come and take your shit. That's why people had to leave the state of Illinois. Illinois got rid of their possession. And all them damn governors downstate was screaming and shouting. I mean, them sheriffs was screaming and shouting, talking about we not going to enforce that. When they went after Cook County, you guys and girls should have stood up then. But you was okay with Cook County because Chicago is in Cook County. And that's just the worst place on earth. Let them tell it. So yeah, as long as you mistreat them in Chicago, we all in agreements with that. Yeah, you mistreating them, yeah, that's fine. Mistreat them. Just leave us alone. You gave them the gun to turn around and point back at you. Now, there's something else I want us law-abiding citizens to understand about these assault weapons bans and these magazine bans. Some of these counties talking about they not going to enforce that stuff. Don't you get comfortable believing it, because that law is on the books. And what's going to happen is it's going to be up to the discretion of the fucking officer. It's what's going to happen. So if they like you, are they having a good day, they're going to tell you, I support the Second Amendment. If they're not too happy, guess what? That law is on the book, and they will take you. So I don't want you to think that you're exempt from that. Because I just saw something I was watching on Cops that happened out in California where somebody got arrested for a shooting or something, and because he had more than 10 rounds, they got him for the magazine and everything. All of it was separate charges. They got him for having a high-capacity magazine. As a matter of fact, he didn't shoot nobody, but he got caught with a gun. And he had a stick and he had a drum. And they got him for the stick, a charge for the stick and a charge for the drum for being over 10 rounds. So don't think because you live in Virginia that, they're not going to enforce that law here. It's a law on the book. You know, people's minds change. People's feelings change. In Illinois, if you live in downstate Illinois, yeah, these sheriffs have came out and say they're not going to enforce this. Yeah, maybe on a mass scale, but the law is on the book. And if they think they need it, they will use it against you. They're not as against it. They're not as against it as you may think, but they understand something. If we speak out against it, people gonna keep voting for us. So that's the difference. This was supposed to be a 30-minute program, but like always, a lot of times we go over. I hope I shed some light on this situation. I hope I opened some people's eyes. These gun bans, yeah, you're right about that. I hope I opened a lot of people's eyes and just getting them to see this is how we got here. Yeah, they won't enforce. Well, like I said, I think it's going to be more of a discretion of the officer. But yeah, if they don't enforce it, they still ain't going to stand up for us. Like I said, politicians have sat down, these think tanks, these billionaires, they sit down and people get paid just to watch social media and read comments. And they already know something about American history. And it's the one thing that when you bring up, people shy away from it because they don't want to talk about it. they all understand race is the number one dividing factor in America. If you can bring something up and you can make it racial, you can divide everybody. But it's got to be anti-black, because that's the devil's bargain that pretty much all the groups have signed on for. They can run around. Asians can get a hate crime bill saying it's black people attacking them, and then turn around the very next year and the Asian guy goes and shoots up the dance hall, and the other one goes and shoots up the damn marijuana dispensary and kill a bunch of Asians. They 98% more likely to be taken off the planet by somebody out of their community, but they don't talk about that. We hear about black on black crime. What about the 85%? Charlie Kirk had to learn the hard way. He never wanted to talk about that 85%. Then he became a part of it. I want you guys and girls to just think about how much hate has destroyed the Second Amendment. The governor of Utah got on national television and said he prayed for 33 hours that it wasn't one of them. That's hate. That's hate. You're in Utah, sir. You're in Salt Lake City. You're in one of the whitest places in the country. Who do you think it was going to be? That man got up there and said the Lord didn't answer his prayer because he wanted it to be an immigrant or an out-of-towner or a non-white person. And this gotten hate has filled people so much that if this Robinson guy identifies as LGBT, they said that that's good enough. That they're trying to other him. That's hate to get up on national TV and say, you prayed for 33 hours. Sir, you live in Utah. You're the governor of Utah. What do you mean? The Virginia fiasco has gotten a lot of channels. I've noticed because I've been making my rounds. A lot of channels have finally started stepping out to have this conversation. It's a conversation, it shouldn't be hard to have, but it's hard to have because people don't want to hear about it. But I just dropped facts on how we got here. They've used the one divide they know we have in this country. That's why I got this shirt on. I never would have thought about this. If I hadn't went on Stormfront and some of these other switches, I would have never knew nothing about this. That's why I got the shirt on. And now look at it. Your hate has come back to bite you in your behind. Your hate has come back to the point now it's cannibalizing. Because I told you guys and girls, if you go to Virginia, I-95 and east is the majority of the black population now. When you start heading west of I-95, the further west you get, the whiter the population get. And you guys were silly enough to go along with a damn Second Amendment sanctuary thing. That's stupid. It's dangerous and it's stupid. Now look at you guys. Y'all are on the cusp. Like I said, I can't say for a fact she's expected to sign it, but she hasn't. Now somebody in the state of Virginia did tell me, because of the overwhelming majority that they have, enough people signed for it that it's going to go to law whether she's signing or not. Like I said, I think she playing politics, you know. But I'm just saying, how we got here. How many of y'all that live in Virginia right now, before this happened with Spanberger, was talking about what about Chicago? How many of y'all living in Virginia that see this? I want you to think about that. How many of y'all now, you sitting on the edge of your damn chair now? How many of y'all before Spanberger became the governor? Back when y'all had Youngkin, when 6, 7 years ago, how many of y'all was talking about what about Chicago? Now look at what happened. For all you guys and girls that's in these fucking militias, that's y'all business. Y'all have the right to. How about this? How about you guys and girls sometimes just learn how to shut the fuck up and just let some of this shit go? You have an issue with something, go sit down and talk. You gonna show up in a fucking house with a bunch of AR-15s screaming and yelling like a bunch of homicidal lunatics and think nothing ain't gonna happen to you? Now look at Michigan. And you know what? The rest of the country was watching. You know what they were saying? Yeah, we better get this under control now. Yeah, we better start. This is in the north. This ain't the south. We better get this under control now. And it didn't spread. To the 2A hypocrites that cheered on Kyle Rittenhouse and cheered for Alex Preddy to be shot and killed. And I only mean that part about them showing up with guns on them. Not what they was actually doing, because that's what the argument was. To all you, to MAGA, how did it feel that idiot Kash Patel got on national fucking TV and said, if you show up to a protest with a damn gun, you go into jail? That's your Second Amendment right. He's supposed to be a hardcore right-winger with that empty head of his. And then Donald Trump got up there and backed him up and said the same stupid shit. I've always said, and I'll always say this. People can have a hatred of me because of my skin color or my sexual identity or whatever. They can have all the firearms they want. The way I neutralize that threat is to have mine on me. You can call me all the names you want. You run up on me in a threatening manner, I'm going to do what I need to do. I would never say, because I don't agree with somebody, to take their Second Amendment rights. If they haven't committed a crime, why would I cheer you on to mistreat them so you can turn around and you can do it to me? Some of my most informative conversations I've ever had was sitting down talking to a damn Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. An active Grand Wizard. We had about a 2-hour chat one day on the job. Most of y'all can't handle that. We sat down and talked about a lot. And he told me he heard about me because he heard that I had a big mouth and that I didn't back down. Guess that was that Napoleon syndrome. But he talked to me about people being hung, people having their limbs cut off them. That being, he remember when that was the town's entertainment, that they came down there with their mason jars, with their embalming fluid in there, and that he would go to people's houses and they would have an ear on the mantelpiece, or a finger, or a man's genital, or the nipple of a woman's breast, or a toe, or whatever other part that they can get off the body if they decided to sell souvenirs on this particular body. I had a talk with a lot of different people here in Iowa. I can't tell you how many times, especially when I first got here, how many people asked me, is racism different up here in Iowa than it is in the South? Not does it exist, is it different? For those people in Arkansas who decided that they was gonna get up there and make a big old stink about an all-white town, Iowa's full of them. It's all white towns all over the fucking country. There wasn't no need to get up there and advertise that. All that was to create chaos. This is why when them small town farm girls get to college, they go fucking buck wild. And I said it. You love the Second Amendment or you don't. The Second Amendment is for everybody or it ain't for nobody. A lot of people got angry in Virginia because the assembly was trying to get an exemption about leaving them guns in the car. And they felt like that was unfair. Well, you know what's unfair? To say you can intrude on somebody else's Second Amendment rights because I don't like where they live at or I don't agree with them. That's not fair. But it was okay because it was something you didn't believe in. It was okay, Illinois, to say, yeah, let's go after Cook County. Because you don't live in Cook County. Because you don't like Cook County. You live in Southern Illinois. You never go to Chicago. You've never been to Cook County. But because you okay with that narrative, yeah, go ahead and restrict the AR-15s up there. For those of you who don't know, there was a restriction on AR-15s and stuff before it went statewide. Yeah, it is. The lasers on the guns. You couldn't have a red or a green laser on your firearm. The rest of the state of Illinois didn't throw a fit about that because it was in Chicago, because it was in Cook County. They didn't have a fit. And then it turned around, they cheerleaded it for it. And then it turned around and bit the rest of the state of Illinois in the ass, and then everybody started having a fit. And the sheriff started coming out here, pole mounting and stomping like little 2-year-olds. We ain't enforcing the law. Don't y'all tell us about law and orders? Don't the back to badge supporters always tell us if you follow the law, nothing ain't gonna happen to you? Well, guess what? If the law is to go confiscate the guns, why don't you enforce the law? Or you don't enforce it because it's a law you don't agree with. You see how that work? You see how that hypocrisy work? My warning to all of y'all, if you live in these places where they got these assault weapons bans and these mag bans, and your sheriff tells you they're not going to enforce it, don't fall for the okie doke, and I'm going to tell you why. A law can be used anytime it's on the books. All it has to take is the discretion of the officer. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, they old, boy. They really old. This when I graduated kindergarten. So you guys and girls need to understand something. We gotta have an honest discussion. Oh, okay. Yeah. You know what? I'll say this. These Pepsis and these Coca-Colas that come out the glass bottles, you ain't had a Coke or a Pepsi till you drink it out of a glass bottle like that. When I go to Mexico, anytime I get a Coke, I make sure I get them out the glass bottles, man. It's totally different than drinking that shit in the plastic. I mean, I know it's all bad for you, but I don't care. That shit, I'll tell you guys and girls a story real quick. First time I ever went to Mexico, I went to Nuevo Laredo. I crossed over the border right there. They used to have a little hot dog stand out there, a little hot dog cart. Because, especially now, Nuevo Laredo and Laredo, Texas, look like the same place. The Mexican side got the same American shit that they got in the Texas side. But I got me a hot dog and I got me a Coke in the bottle. One of them, man, that's the strongest Coke I ever had, but it was good, man. I said, my goodness. Those Cokes in the bottle, they really good. Those Pepsis also. Um, Nevertheless, like I was saying to everybody, shout out to a regular gun guy because I got in his live. Well, I was in his comment section last night, and he had a conversation, and this came up. This little racial aspect about the Second Amendment. I'm glad we starting to have this conversation publicly because a lot of people who say they love the 2A, they starting to recognize the centuries of damage that hate did to the Second Amendment. And in the place, the Virginia, home of the Confederates, for a Virginia lawmaker to get up and talk about how the hatred, a Republican at that, with an alt-right haircut. He looked like that. As a matter of fact, his beard, his mustache, and his haircut looked like that guy up there in Idaho who's talking about black folk enjoying his church. We just got to denounce our culture and basically like we subhuman and all this garbage. Dude, you live in Iowa. You ain't never going to run across us like that. But anyhow, this lawmaker in Virginia, he looked like one of the, he had that alt-right look to him. And he was talking that woke stuff. He went back to the 1800s talking about when black folks couldn't buy guns and all that. What's going on today's Daily Rant? Appreciate you for joining in. Nevertheless, this guy went back, he sounded woke. All of a sudden, all these gun laws and all this mistreatment became a big thing now because it spread. That's why I was screaming, trying to keep from it happening. I've been screaming, trying to keep from them encroaching on anybody's gun rights, man. I told you guys and girls, the 3 steps: national reciprocity, national purchasing. What I mean by national purchasing is if you are able to carry in this country, you should be allowed to buy a firearm in any state you want, just like a car. And you should be able to leave out the store with that firearm. Not if I buy a gun in Texas, I got to have it shipped to me in Iowa. And I got to wait till it get here and then go pick it up in the FFL and all that shit. No. If I'm in Texas, if I'm in California, if I'm in Arkansas and I want to buy a gun, I should be allowed or able to buy that gun, present my credentials, fill the paperwork out, take that gun, and walk out of that damn store. And the third thing is to stop all these mag and assault weapon bans. Yeah, man. You know what? It's not a. I've been trying to get people to see the Second Amendment. You from Connecticut. Yeah. You know what? Wow, 15-day wait. Oh my goodness. Connecticut. I did a story about Connecticut going after Glocks next because they doing the California strategy. Wow, California is a 15-day waiting period. Well, I'm going to tell you this. Once we get the national laws on the books, you know it's going to be a whole lot of jockeying for position. California is going to be one of them places. 15 days before you can walk out with your piece, my goodness. Shit, here in Iowa, man, I can pick out 5 guns. Sign them all, pay for them, sign them all out at the same time and walk out the store. 5 guns. And ain't got a bad eye, and I ain't got to worry about when I come out having 20 cop cars standing there waiting on me. Ohio is good, yeah. I know. I heard Ohio pretty. They had one of the meetups there, a regular meetup in Ohio. I heard Ohio pretty good when it comes to that Second Amendment. It's 10, which is still bad. Okay, yeah, man. At 7, and the standard is 10. My good. So basically, the 43X is the one that comes with the 10 rounds. Is all they want you to have. Don't get me wrong. I got it sitting next to me. I can't show it because YouTube will stop my live stream. I got my PK380 next to me. It's 8 rounds plus another spare 8 rounds. I carry it. I carry it quite a bit. It was my EDC for years. I wish they would make a full size, like a 4.5-inch barrel 380, and I'd get that. But Connecticut passed the law not going too long ago. 3 handgun limit for 1 month. Missouri, St. Louis to be exact. Yeah, Missouri. I have a Glock 17 folks talking about it's gonna be illegal soon. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you this. I think some of the goal is, if you can't ban the gun, go after the manufacturer. I think that's the new way around. Now I want you to think about something else. Them super safeties, as they call them here on YouTube. I don't want to say the other thing, because YouTube might ding me for it. But them super safeties, y'all know what I'm talking about. I look at that as being the next thing that they're going to start going after. Trying to go after firearms that you could put some super safeties in. That's my personal opinion. You know, I could be wrong, but that's my personal opinion. They're going to try and go after those next, you know. Like they're going after Glock, talking about the switch. In New York, it takes 3 to 5 weeks before. My goodness. Critical defense ammo for 380 is very accurate. Oh, yeah. I got some critical defense. Yeah. You know what? For California, shout out to my girl Guns and Journey, because she responded to one of my videos, man. That's my girl. I love her. Shout out to you. She showed a off-the-roster firearm in California, and she told me the price, and she said the price, I couldn't believe it, man. I was like, man, that is highway robbery, man. But you know, yeah. Here's the thing. The mere fact that we having these kind of conversations, I want you guys and girls to think about something. 20 years ago, before the internet was a thing for everybody, these kind of conversations was had. Either you was a member of a gun club, or you was the only person in your little vicinity or in your group that loved the Second Amendment like I do. Yeah, my friends and family and stuff, the guns, they love motorcycles and other shit like I love the Second Amendment, like I love guns. So it really was nobody for me to talk to about this. And then the internet came along. I fought getting social media for years. Finally, I've got me a YouTube channel, man, and I can have this discussion with y'all because I can't have it in my everyday life because nobody around me is like that about the Second Amendment. Well, yeah. Well, because here's the thing about ammo. You can always reload it. And I want to say politically, I think a part of the game is if we're going to let states have their rights, well, they'll ban it here or they'll tax you buying it from here. But now with GunTube, because so many people know each other, people are damn sell you money and say, hey, when you come this way, buy me this, and that ammunition and drop it off to me. You know what I'm saying? GunTube has connected a lot of us around the country that probably never would have met each other before. And we in constant contact with each other. We sending, there's a lot of moving parts offline a lot of y'all don't know about. And that is a good thing. We have developed an ecosystem. There's a lot of us that as you get to know us, hell, if you in a state where they gonna charge you, let's just say a box of, uh, weapons out there that ain't control. Yeah, I hear about trying to serialize ammunition. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I want you guys and girls to think about, there's people that live in a state where the sale tax is normal, and now you got places that want to hike up the price. A lot of people in California go to Nevada to get their ammunition and get their spare mags and stuff. Or they go to Arizona and get that stuff and bring it back. Or if a family member is coming to visit, they have them bring that with them. So hey man, it's like people in the joint, man. When there's a will, there's a way. Hold on, everybody. We're going to keep this going. Y'all hold on. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, everybody. But yeah, man. So there's a lot of moving parts. I want everybody in GunTube to know this, cause the content creators, we know this. But just so everybody, just so everybody will know that supports GunTubers. A lot of us are doing a lot of work behind the scenes that y'all don't see. Talking to the politicians, talking to people in the industry, a lot of these giveaway. We doing a lot of different things to help circumvent some of this stuff. It's legal, but we doing it the right way. We building an ecosystem that basically we trying to get it where it can't be meddled with. So man, you guys and girls might see us doing these videos. I think now with GunTube, we've gotten enough attention on the Second Amendment outside of the mainstream media that a lot of these different places, man, starting to reach out to a lot of us. Okay. Yeah, so a lot of these places reaching out to us, a lot of us creators are reaching out to these people. Some people starting to create their own stuff so we can always be able to find a way around, man. Because at the end of the day, it's a cat and mouse game of don't restrict the whole country, because we don't want to have a blue tidal wave or a red tidal wave, but just do it enough where we can go back and forth. Here in Iowa, they already got an abortion ban. And I just saw a politician earlier talking about how, yeah, man. So he was talking about the abortion. Dude, y'all already got abortion restrictions here. And he just was going on and on and on about it. I mean, come on, man. So like I told you guys and girls, that's been around. The Second Amendment and abortion is the way we go to the polls. The Democrats attack the Second Amendment. The Republicans attack abortion. Period, point blank. Just enough to get you coming to the poll. Just enough to get you to vote. They don't give one way or the other way, but it's just enough to get you to come to the poll. So you don't get too angry at one side. So you spread your anger around. Because if the Republicans give us national reciprocity, national purchasing power, and get rid of all these stupid laws that they got, these restrictions, and we get it on the books, and it wins appeals and all that. Now remember, we got a supermajority in the Supreme Court that's conservative. So For all of you who like to talk about red and blue, you got a red Supreme Court. Yes, this stuff is still on the market. This stuff is still on the books. But you think about that. We get those three things done, the Republicans feel like then we ain't got no reason to come out and vote for them. If we can get those three things done, that's more the reason to get us to come out and vote. Because you gave us what we asked for. Now we gonna give you what we promised, our vote. And you'll continue getting our vote. It's just when we say we want to add something to it, you just add to it. Because once we get those three things, next we're gonna go after the machine guns. We're gonna go after that next. We're gonna go after getting that removed. So, like I said, these law enforcement, I've told you, go back and listen to my encounters with law enforcement videos that I've done on this channel where I talk about that. My experiences with law enforcement, with me being legally armed. How some of them had conversations with me about firearms, like we was just two guys hanging out at the gun range. How some of them was threatening to take me to jail. They was just hoping the gun was illegal and found out it was legal. I've had them tell me, I can't believe you got a legal gun. I've had them tell me that they don't believe no black person should be armed. I've had them tell me they don't believe no American that's not law-abiding. I mean, that's not a cop or in law enforcement should be armed. And they said they didn't care what the color was. I don't like nobody having a gun. When I like to know when I pull a car over, the only person got a gun on them is me. I had law enforcement tell me that. Like I said, you know. So a lot of y'all, you may think because you live in a certain place, it don't apply to you. But now the politicians are starting to publicly acknowledge something I've been saying. Law enforcement is more involved in these damn gun restrictions than y'all think they are. They just can't come out and say it because they don't want their supporters to turn against them. Because law enforcement support is basically the majority, well, not the majority of the people, but the majority of people that support law enforcement are not black. That's just a fact. And they don't want to lose that. So they're not going to come out and say, yeah, we behind some of these strenuous gun laws because they don't want their support to turn on them. They're just going to wait until you leave and they're going to sit down behind closed doors and talk with these damn Democratic politicians. And now the politicians are tired of taking the blame for themselves, so they starting to out the damn law enforcement now. Now they start, Connecticut, go back and watch that clip. That guy sat right there and said, yeah, we sat down with law enforcement and came up with going after Glock. Yeah, that's what he said. And he ain't lying. He said something I've been saying. They starting to out him now. They tired of having to hold these L's by themselves. They starting to out your little law enforcement buddies now. And it ain't funny no more. You know they always, you know that little saying, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. It just ain't funny. So I just want you guys and girls to just think about that. Just want y'all to think about that, man. The Second Amendment has to be colorblind. We can debate everything else. That has to be colorblind. And because it's had that racial asterisk next to it, it's how you wind up with this. It's how you wind up with all these states having assault weapons bans. And I'll repeat this one more time before I get out of here. Ain't none of these states in the South. Where the majority of the black folk in this country are. So ask yourself, You live in the Midwest, you live in the North, you live in the West Coast. Ask yourself, was it funny? Was it worth the laugh now that the joke is on you, Virginia? Yeah. Yeah, without the Second Amendment, all the rest of them gonna disappear. You just had Afro-Man had to go to court. You see, Afro-Man just had to go and fight for the First Amendment, man. Like you said, they came in his house, guns a-pointing. He sure did win. I mean, it was a waste of the taxpayers' money. The only thing I don't like is one of the officers approached him after that and talked all that Christian stuff and talked that forgiveness, and Afro-Man said, I forgive him, but I'm going to continue to keep making these songs. That's why they thought it was okay to kick down your door and do what they did in the first place. Stealing money and cutting off your cameras and all that. That's why they thought that was okay. You don't forgive them. They got guns pointed at you and your family and threatening to shoot children. You don't forgive them for that. Because when you forgive them, that emboldens them. No, man. Look, let me say this. I'm not a religious dude. Never pretend to be. They say only God can judge you. Well, damn it, ask God to judge him. Stop forgiving him. Ask God to judge him. Yeah, man. Ask God to judge him, man. They could have shot one of your damn kids. And then for them to sit there and lie in that report. Yeah, man, you just sit there and lie in that report. But like you said, if we lose the Second Amendment, the first is going out the door. We already got one community running around here trying to primary everybody they can, so you can't speak against them because they trying to get that on the book. You can't speak against them. And anytime they don't get their way, they throw a fit. Ladies and gentlemen, I know it's in the middle of the night. I know I done kept y'all up long enough with my big mouth. Just going on and on and on. For the people that's catching me on the replay. For the people that caught me live. Send this live stream to a politician. Send this live stream to somebody you think that needs to hear this and tell them to just be quiet and listen. Don't overreact. Just listen to the facts that I drop. And then if they don't believe, they can go back and they can Google this stuff and research it for themselves. But per my search, it wasn't a deep dive, but I went and searched different sites and double checked. We have, one more time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 assault weapons bans on the books, and possibly 11 if Virginia goes through with theirs. Then we also have 1, 2, 3, 4 other states that have magazine bans. And I'm telling you how we got here. Like I said again, the majority of these people on YouTube that spews all this hate, these are people from the North. Megyn Kelly in New York. Nick Fuentes from Illinois. Suburbs. Candace Owens is from New York. She spews a lot of that garbage. Matt Walsh, Stephen Chowderhead. I can go on and on and on. Tim Pool and all the rest of them. All that cartoonish shit that they do online. And yet it's their places that's getting these assault weapons bans. Now, what does that tell you? Come up off the hate, guys and girls. It's costing. It costs too much to hate. It don't only cost you your business and your job now. Now it's costing you your Second Amendment rights. It costs too much to hate. Let it go. Let it go. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We definitely got to get together and do some more streams. Make sure you subscribe to I Got My Foot in It, our other channel. Yeah. It's definitely bad to your health. I don't even want to talk about all the videos I've seen. But I'm going to say this. I want everybody to be able to enjoy the Second Amendment with no restrictions. I want y'all all to be able to join and enjoy the Second Amendment with no restrictions. Only way we ever going to get there is to have these honest discussions and sit down and come up with real solutions. As long as we refuse to have these discussions, we never going to fix the problem, and it's going to keep spreading. Stop worrying about Chicago if you don't live there. You live in Massachusetts, worry about Boston. Don't worry about Chicago. You got enough issues in Boston. Remember Mark Wahlberg and his little gang of thugs? You don't want me to go there. Remember Bill Russell getting his house broken into, people shitting in his bed? Don't do this. It's time for everybody to start cleaning their own damn houses. Then we can come out when we finish cleaning our houses and sit on the fucking porch and talk. But until everybody understands that not only one house is dirty on the block, but all the houses is dirty, this list is going to keep growing of states that's going to keep losing their Second Amendment rights. That's going to keep having restrictions. It's going to keep growing. But ask yourself, is hate worth it? Because if in Virginia, that governor signs this law, a lot of people going to lose their mind. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We're going to try and keep the content coming. Look like we're supposed to be having a warm weekend. I'm going to try and get out and do some shooting. I'm going to work on, I have a head-mounted camera. I'm going to work on that so I can give y'all a little bit more POV. I'm going to work that out and figure that out and how to transfer the data and stuff on it. I've had it for a while now. I've had it since my birthday and I still never used it. Shame on me. With that being said, make sure you support your favorite gun tubers first off. If they have merch, help them out. Make sure you sub to their channels. I would love for you to be a sub and a frequent watcher here. But if not, I understand. But make sure you supporting your favorite gun tubers. Make sure you sub to their channels. You're viewing the material. You're sharing it. The Second Amendment is a wonderful benefit that we all can enjoy if we do this together. Colorblind. With that being said, everybody, this has been another overtime episode of Midnight Madness Till next time, stay safe, stay armed, stay on high alert.